Morning, everyone. Uh, I would like to, first of all, thanks MIG and BiZCON team to really uh, invite me for this. Uh, uh, as we know, the topic actually given to me is around startup, and I sort of breathe startup from the time I actually graduated. And from early childhood, I think we have sort of a Marwadi Bania sort of a khun. And it looks like that all of us really are born to be entrepreneurs. That's what I have always felt and I have always believed. And I have seen in my life since my childhood days, uh, most of my parents, colleagues, and all of them, and some of the other form entrepreneurs. And today they are called startups, but that inspires me. That inspired me from my childhood, and it continues to. And I really breathe startup. So I think on this topic around top line and bottom line, or bottom line actually, incidentally, it's or. Um, it's very ironical, typically, and I will restrict my conversation. थोड़ा मैं कोशिश करूँगा हिंदी में भी बोलने का कि टेक स्टार्टअप से थोड़ा मैं इसको restrict करूँगा because otherwise this is a very wide field and I can, there are different examples or different connotations to the startup. So tech startups usually जो इंडिया में चालू हैं और वर्ल्ड वाइड चालू हैं with actually goal of chasing top line, chasing market share, finding good product market mix fit, and then raising more capital to continue to actually gain dominant share, and then eventually find profits. I think that's the game that has been played in the startup world, whether it is sort of a retail startup, or it's a pure social startup, or it is sort of a food tech, any kind of tech that you can think of. It's all about gaining market share. It's all about gaining dominance, and then eventually profits will follow. I think that's how startup world in the tech space is तरह से architect हुआ है. It is important. Lot of new entrepreneurs actually lose the sight of how do we build a good business model. So that actually has been I think we all know the stats. Almost 99% almost startups fail हो जाते हैं. And इसका बहुत simple सा reason है कि most of the startups do not have a revenue model in place. I think they are just there because they just dare to dream, and they just want to be in the bandwagon of joining a startup or doing their own startup. I think it's a tough game. It's a super tough game. So especially, just to sort of share with you, I have seen two downturns in my life. One was in 2001, which was the dot-com crisis, and second one was in 2008, so a global financial crisis, especially in US, and then went all over the world. And in both these scenarios, I was running my earlier startup, and that gave me, a lot of exposure, and I want to definitely share my thoughts around what really I and my colleagues did at that time, and what should आज हमें क्या करना चाहिए जो हम startups run कर रहे हैं. So first of all, there are different sort of startups within the tech space. It could be a B2B startup, which is not winner take all kind of a startup, and there are B2C startups. B2C startups are like direct to consumer, and यहाँ पर आप किसी market product, market fit को आप टेस्ट करते हैं, उस टेस्ट करके उसको अंदर आप मार्केट शेयर और डोमिनेंस की तरफ जाते हैं. तो ये जो डाउनटर्न है, ये जो कोरोना वायरस की जगह जिसकी वजह से हम सब लॉकडाउन हो गए हैं या पूरा वर्ल्ड लॉकडाउन हो गया है, आई थिंक इट इज अ वेरी वेरी opportunistic time. Let's use it for a very nice opportunity to think through what have we built, or what are we trying to build. Is it the right product market, my game, that what I am building, or what my team or what my team together is building, is it the right product market fit or not? I think that's the most appropriate question जो हमें as a founder or as an entrepreneur needs to really think hard on this. Because अगर ये चीज ठीक नहीं हुई तो आगे के सारे मेहनत पे पानी फिर जाएगा. तो ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है इस डाउनटाउन में जब हम घर में बैठे हैं, टू थिंक थ्रू इट वेरी वेरी डीपली, वेरी वेरी केयरफुली, हमें कुछ चेंजेस करने हैं, कुछ रिफाइनमेंट करनी है, कुछ ग्लोबल कंपनीज को ऑब्जर्व करना है, हाउ व्हाट हैव दे डन इन पास्ट, हाउ व्हाट दे हैव डन टू मेक थिंग्स सक्सेसफुल. इंडियन एनवायरनमेंट, इंडियन डेमोग्राफिक्स बहुत डिफरेंट है देन ग्लोबल डेमोग्राफिक्स. देयरफॉर हमें यहाँ पर क्या चेंजेस करने हैं, विल वी सक्सीड in India, and then later on, if it is a pure digital play, then can someone from abroad can come with a lot more dollars and actually throw us out of our game. So I think this has to be thought through very carefully in terms of architecting your model. ये बहुत सबसे मूड क्वेश्चन है, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, और यहाँ सबसे ज्यादा गलतियां होती हैं, और इसका कोई आसान आंसर भी नहीं है. इसके लिए एक्सपीरियंस लगेगा, इसके लिए बहुत सारा जजमेंट लगेगा, इसके लिए आपकी अंदर से आवाज आनी चाहिए कि जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो इजीली रेप्लिकेबल नहीं है. देयर आर एनफ मोट्स इन माय बिजनेस मॉडल, एंड देयर आर एनफ मोट्स दैट आई हैव बिल्ट to be able to have a very strong defensible game. I think that's the most important learning that I believe one should really sort of think through in these times. And second thing that I would advise in times of this lockdown or coronavirus lockdown is look at ways. If you are a B2B sort of a tech startup, then you can probably engage with your customers far more easily. You can also, reduce your prices a little bit to be able to give them, build more relationships with them, and learn more of their other pain points that you can help and, improve your product. Likewise, if you are a B2C startup, direct to consumer, then you also should refine your product. Refine things, because tech and product, as hum bhi hamare yahan par bhi, the most important thing, we have a sizable team in the tech and product space within FirstCry, and in this downtime it has not deterred us to do work. It is just that we can work from home now, but we can all collaborate in this, like we are collaborating on Zoom. There are other platforms that you can collaborate and continue to do product development. तो आज के टाइम में भी आप उस प्रोडक्ट को इम्प्रोवाइज कर सकते हैं. जो आपको फीचर्स बनाने हैं, जो कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंसेस को एनहांस करना है, उस टाइम को आप प्रोडक्टिवली यूज करके you march ahead. May not be visible on the on the consumer front yet, but you are not losing time from that window. And I think that's something that you must utilize every minute of your productive teamwork, your own work, to think and build that model. I think आप लोगों ने सबने पढ़ा होगा कि TCS ने एक स्टेटमेंट दिया है. TCS ने बोला है 2025 तक हम 75% हमारी खुद की वर्कफोर्स को वर्क फ्रॉम होम करेंगे. Now imagine the amount of people that TCS employs today, and in next 4-5 years, how many people they will employ. And 75%, 75% लोग घर से ऑपरेट करेंगे, तो आप सोचिए कि आपकी बॉटम लाइन पे क्या इम्पैक्ट आ गया. So I think this is the time not to think top line or bottom line. It is to think new strategies which will further strengthen your top line by improving your customer experiences or improving your bottom line eventually. It may not be visible today, tomorrow, but it will be eventually be visible. This is no one could have thought the new working environment. In fact, in our own organization, we never felt that we could probably operate from home. There were always so many departments that we had asked when we were here to change offices every year because of lack of space and so on and so forth. It was difficult, but today's, I think everybody has come to a new normal. And that is the realization that when, situations like this forces us to think out of box. And that is the new realization that we have all gone through. So I think look at every aspect of your business, not just the product market fix, your other environments in terms which can help you, build more engagement with your customer, more, whether it is a B2B or a B2C, think more ideas which you can implement probably 3 months, 6 months down the line, because eventually this, virus effect will go away. We'll all start working, although in a controlled environment, and eventually finally, as we were earlier. So let's utilize this time for the best possible teamwork. Another thing as a startup, actually, which is very, very important, is cash is not going to come back. एक बार आपका चला गया घर से पैसा, कंपनी से पैसा चला गया वो वापस नहीं आने वाला है, because that's a loss that that has increased or that is there. So control your cost as much as you can. हम मारवाड़ी हैं, बनिया हैं, तो हमें सबको पता है कि कैसे खर्चे बचाने हैं. इससे अच्छी चीज हमें ये किसी को बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो ये चीज आप बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हम इसको एक्सरसाइज करें. ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. हमारा रनवे एक्सटेंड करना, स्टार्टअप्स का रनवे एक्सटेंड करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. कोई भी वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट, कोई भी प्राइवेट इक्विटी इस टाइम के अंदर बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. एक्सेप्शनल केसेस आर ऑलवेज देयर to find capital, and most of the startups don't have a revenue model, and they are figuring out revenue model. So I think it is important to think through that either you extend your runway or it will be very difficult to survive. So I think it is very important to control cost. Another thing that I would like to mention is on the B2C startup. Now the B2C startup has a tendency to even burn money to not at a gross margin level of any services of any product, but even after post marketing they also still burn money. That's bad. That should not happen. That is something that you need to control and think back. What should I do, or what should my team do to actually be enabled to control cost in terms of your unit economics metric? That has to be done to be able to control your burn and give a positive contribution margin to your business post marketing. Therefore, you can cover your अपने fixed cost को cover कर सकते हैं. That's very important. And in this time, I have seen all my 2 downturns. Actually, the best thing is to be so close to your team, because you're all the time you're talking to your team. There's not too much to do anything else other than to improve product. You will actually find best talent in your team. The most important thing that you'll find is those talent who really will be with you long run. That's very important to identify your sort of a great talent. And another thing that I have always observed, don't follow advice of others. Yes, Rahul, I will not take more than a minute now.
Thank you.
So I think it's just that follow your own instincts. Don't follow instinct of others. You have to feel your internal instinct that what you're doing is right and wrong, and you have to change the direction if needed on your own. Don't even follow your investors' advice. Sometimes most investors don't have operational experience, so they don't probably give always the best advice. And last I would probably say is that entrepreneurs are a different breed. This is a very different breed, and I think we are all entrepreneurs by blood, by design, by God's grace. We are always Marwadis and Baniyas. I always take pride that we are all born entrepreneurs, and we will travel any uncharted territory. Corona is just one of them, and it will go away. We know how to come out of this situation, and we will be successful and win this battle as well. Thank you.